ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शुश्रूषोषददानस्य वासुदेवाकतारुचि स्यान्महत्सेवया विप्रा पुण्यतीर्थनिषेवनात् शृण्वता स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः निर्दिष्टस्तु भद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति तदा रजस्तमो भावादयश्च ये चेत एतैरनाविद्धं स्थितं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति। एवं प्रसन्नमनसो भक्तियोगतः भगवत्ततो विज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते विद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिसिद्ध्यन्ते सर्वसंशयः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्ट एवात्मनीश्वरे। ॐ नमो भगवते
Mataji, your voice is.
वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो वासुदेवाय।
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can you hear me? If so, you can turn off your video, Mataji. Maybe that may create you better bandwidth. Oh, Krishna. Internet is a problem, I guess. Wait for him. I think still she's having challenges in connecting back. Maybe we can read. As I said, we can read. The other day it was good. Anybody would like to read? Anybody would like to read?
I can read, Prabhu. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Mataji. Okay. Yeah, Mataji, you can just keep the audio only, so it may be
Yes.
better.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Sorry about that. Text 17. We haven't started reading, no, Prabhu?
No, not started, Mataji. Just
Okay. अद्यर्हणीयासनमास्तितं परं वृतं चतुष्षोडश पञ्चशक्तिभिः युक्तं भगैस्वैरितरत्र चाध्रुवै स्व एव धामन् रममाणमीश्वरम्. Word to word. Adyarhaniya, greatly worshipable. Asanam, throne. Astitam, seated on it. Param, the supreme. Vritam, surrounded by. Chatuhu, four, namely Prakriti, Purusha, Mahat and Mahatattva and ego. Shodasa, the 16. Pancha, the 5. Shaktibihi, by the energies. Yuktam, empowered with. Bagai, his opulence. Svai, personal. Itaratra, other minor provinces. Cha, also. Adhruvai, temporary. Sve, own. Eva, certainly. Dhaman, abode. Ramamanam, enjoying. Ishwaram, the Supreme Lord. Translation. The Lord was seated on his throne and was surrounded by different energies like the 4, the 16, the 5, and 6 natural opulences, and other insignificant energies of the temporary character. But he was the factual Supreme Lord enjoying his own abode. Purport. The Lord is naturally endowed with the 6 opulences. Specifically, he is the richest, he is the most powerful, he is the most famous, he is the most beautiful, he is the greatest in knowledge, and he is the greatest renouncer as well. And for his material creative energies, he is served by 4, namely the principles of Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, and ego.
Mataji, your voice is.
He
Mataji, we can't hear you.
is also served by the 16, namely the 5
Namely, the 5 elements: earth, water, air, fire, and sky. The 5 perceptive sense organs: the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and skin. The 5 working sense organs: the hand, the legs, the stomach, the evacuation outlet, and the genitals, and the mind. The 5 includes the sense objects, namely form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. All these 25 items serve the Lord in the material creation, and all of them are personally present to serve the Lord. The insignificant opulences, numbering 8, the Ashtasiddhis, attained by yogis for a temporary overlordship, are also under his control, but he is naturally full with all such powers without any effort and therefore is the Supreme Lord. The living being, by severe penance and performance of bodily exercises, can temporarily attain some wonderful power, but that does not make him the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord, by his own potency, is unlimitedly more powerful than any yogi, is unlimitedly more learned than any gnani, and is unlimitedly richer than any wealthy person. He is unlimitedly more beautiful than any beautiful living being, and is unlimitedly more charitable than any philanthropist. He is above all. No one is equal to or greater than him, nor can anyone reach his level of perfection in any of the above powers by any amount of penance or yogic demonstrations. The yogis are dependent on his mercy. Out of his immensely charitable he, disposition, he can award some temporary powers to the yogis because of the yogis hankering after them. But to his unalloyed devotees who do not want anything from the Lord, save and accept his transcendental service, the Lord is so pleased that he gives himself in exchange for an unalloyed service. Hopefully she'll join. I think it is a real challenge, I guess, the internet there. The Lord was seated on his throne and was surrounded by different energies like the 4, 16, and the 5 and the 6 natural opulences, along with other insignificant energies of the temporary character. But he was the factual Supreme Lord, enjoying his own abode. We just read the purport. Just read the purport, maybe.
Okay, Prabhu. Sure. Sorry, I thought the internet was fine later in the evenings. That's why I committed. I'm so sorry about the break that we're having every 2 minutes, I guess. I joined from a different device, so hopefully it'll work. Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you clear.
Okay, Prabhu. So we'll just read the translation one more time. The Lord was seated on his throne and was surrounded by different energies like the 4, the 16, the 5, and the 6 natural opulences, along with other insignificant energies of the temporary character. But he was the factual Supreme Lord enjoying his own abode. So this particular chapter answers by citing the Lord's version. That's the topic of this chapter. And Lord Brahma is now actually describing the beauty and the activities of the Lord. It's his personal darshan or vision, or he saw what was happening in Vaikunta. He's describing. So initially, he actually describes about the inhabitants of Vaikunta, so different, the plants and birds and all different living entities there. He describes all that. And now he's describing about the Lord himself, actually. And this verse can remind us a verse from the first canto. If we remember, Vyasadeva, when he sat down before compiling the Bhagavatam, right? He sat down in meditation according to the instructions of Narada Muni. And he also envisioned the Lord, and behind the Lord was his material energy. Mayam cha tadapashrayam, that verse. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihate amile apashyat purusham purnam mayam cha tadapashrayam. He saw the material energy behind him. So in this verse, we can see Prabhupada explains about what is this 4 chatuhu, like 4 energies. Because the verse says 4, then 16, then there is other minor provinces. There are 5. There's the divisions are being given. So what is Lord Brahma actually seeing? The personified features of all these principles. The 4 are Prabhupada explains in the purport that Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, and ego. So in this, interestingly, I was trying to really understand. So here it is said that unless Prabhupada explains, it's very hard to understand. He says material creative energies. So creative energy, the word there explains the rest of it actually. So there's Prakriti, there is Purusha, there is Purusha avatars, Purusha, who are the principles of actually the whole creation was because of Purusha. And then Mahatma, that is like the totality of material energy now divided, and then there's false ego, the ego. And then the next 16, the group, this is very easy or clear for us to understand. Earth, water, fire, air, and sky. And then there's 5 perceptive organs. So basically, these are all like the anmatas, right? The entire
Krishna.
And then there is the 5 tanmatras and the 6 natural opulences. The natural opulences, what Prabhupada is explaining, we all know 6 opulences, right? The 6 natural opulences. And the following is the insignificant opulences, or the temporary energies. The temporary opulences is the Ashtasiddhi. It's not temporary for Krishna. it's just like insignificant for Krishna. But that is actually not at all going to make one as powerful as the Supreme Lord, because Supreme Lord is the abode for all. Once every 2 minutes. Kanda Prabhu, what would you like me? I don't want to interrupt like this, like anything. It's very
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, internet is so bad. It's okay. Maybe if it disconnects next time,
Yeah,
we can discuss
I'm sorry.
Mathaji. So if anybody has anything, so 7:52 in it.
Yeah. Yes. So this verse is a darshan of basically Lord Brahma seeing Lord Vishnu or Lord of the Vaikuntha with all his paraphernalia. So the previous verse was saying about the personified Vedas and different, the Kanda, right? Everything personified of all those. In this verse, it's a personification of all this. Yeah, this is the last time.
Yeah.
So I'll just read the purport, the second paragraph. The living being, by severe penance and performance of bodily exercises, can temporarily attain some wonderful power, but that does not mean the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord, by his own potency, that also Prabhupada very clearly is explaining here. We see in the verse, it says, Adruvai, these are temporary energies. Mystic potencies are temporary energies for the living entity. But even they are minor provinces, itaratra, minor, because major or the predominant province or the opulence of Krishna is all the rest of it, the 6 opulences, right? These are just situated in Dhaman, in his own abode. And what is he doing? He's enjoying. So all these material energies, we only struggle with them. Krishna doesn't have to struggle. He's actually enjoying, and these material energies are just beside him. So that's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna directly says that, Devi Hesha Gunamani Mama Maya Duratyaya, but Mameve Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. So all these energies are next to him. He can just turn them off and stop them from interfering in a devotee's life, actually, when the devotee is completely attached to Krishna. So
Anybody would like to share anything? 7:55.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. When Mataji is talking about this, my minds are going towards how the system admin is configuring, turning on and off. Like Krishna is enjoying in everyone's. He's the biggest system admin to configure things so that it gets orchestrated accordingly. Just a contemporary thought too.
Nice to. So I was thinking, I mean, when I read the translation, right, it is very hard to understand what is what, right? I mean, Prabhupada is very nicely explained without the purport, right? I mean, it's not going to be easy to understand, and one can comment anything and what one can, I mean, speculate, right? What is there in the verse, what is 4, what is 16. I mean,
Yeah,
16
that's
is very clear from the other, I mean, what we heard from other Prabhupada purports, but everything else could be a challenge. So. Yeah, and also, I mean, the Ashtasiddhis, I mean, they are very great. I mean, if we see, right, I mean, in this world, so I mean, imagining something becoming a smaller than the smallest, or bigger than the biggest, or the creating a planet, right? That is also one of the siddhis. I mean, it's such a huge thing. I mean, materially speaking. I mean, forget about material in the current world. I mean, it's very, very huge thing, right? So, but I mean, then it says that it is a very insignificant, right, for the Supreme Lord. So that is another thing. So I mean, the way Prabhupada explained in the last paragraph of the purport, I mean, there could be somebody can be some very, very great or very learned or very beautiful, but nobody can match the Supreme Lord. Yeah.
I mean, we develop a small software which is fully loaded with bugs, a lot of planning and a lot of stress and all those things. But this cosmic manifestation by the Creator is is unimaginable, right, Prabhu? Like as a single person, he just do and he's enjoying in that activity with all the material, with all the energies around. Like that's a phenomenal thing. To think about how this creation, how things have been orchestrated, everything has a purpose, right? Nothing in this um, nothing in this universe is without a well-defined purpose. But we may use it for other purpose or some other thing, but the intended purpose in the intended design, that's the one which I was trying to capture. Yeah, so that's mind-boggling.
Anyone else has anything? Shatarupa Mataji sent a message saying that please ask the devotees on the call to forgive me for the repeated interruption of this morning. Anyone else has anything? Okay, there are no more sharings. Maybe we can end here. We'll resume tomorrow. Thank you, devotees. Narendra Srimad Bhagavatam.